What's up, guys? Nintendo64 here, and welcome to another, I guess, series of tier lists that we're going to be doing. And I know it might be odd that I'm doing these on a Wednesday, but there isn't really much time to do these tier lists just because I have other videos planned around these, and especially because if some of you folks will recall from the Mario Kart World Knockout Tour video we did, I had mentioned something along the lines of doing the Mario Kart World tier list there in February, and so we kind of had to do these like now, or else we're not going to be able to get them in time. But today is the first of 6 parts of the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate stage tier list, and with me are all 3 of my boys to give their collected thoughts as well. Going down the line is Mr. JordanDraws.
I am here.
Michael Game Show.
What's up, everybody? I can't wait to do another tier list. It's been a long time since we did it. I think these types, it's a lot of fun to do.
Mm-hmm. And last but maybe least, because he's not as good at Smash as us, is a Prism.
What? Okay, I'm pretty sure the argument can be made, but we're not gonna have that argument.
I'm not that good at Smash.
Not as good as you and Jordan, maybe, but me and Michael, I think that's a pretty even match.
Yeah.
Well, at the very least, like, I think for Smash Ultimate's sake, like, around the time when we, like, really started doing stuff together with, like, the main 3 games, you weren't really as active, so you didn't get much Smash experience with us until later. At least I think. Yep. Anyway, we're going off a side tangent there. So for today's part, in case you folks did not read the title of the video, we're going to be specifically ranking the Smash 64 stages that are in Smash Ultimate. Of which there are 7, or technically 9, if you want to count Battlefield and Final Destination, because they were in there. So we're going to be doing ranking these 9 stages. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, starting with Battlefield, which I think is an easy C tier that we can all start off with, because it's just a basic platform with 3 smaller platforms. And I think while we were doing the B-roll footage, we were like kind of like sort of giving some of our thoughts on it, and I don't know, it's just a basic fighting stage, and like the only like compliments I really have to give it are I don't know, I think it's probably like the best version of Battlefield that we have, and that's about it.
Yeah, I guess really not much to say anyway, although I would probably give it B tier because I'm like, okay, yes, it's a basic stage, but at least it is a good fighting ground. Like, yeah, I know it's not like flashy, but it's at least still something that if you just want to play the game itself and don't really care about appearance or anything like that. So, I guess really nothing else to say, so yeah, except I give it a B tier.
Alright, for the first Smash Bros. Stages that we reviewed on Battle Stage, or Small Battles, whatever it's called.
It's just Battlefield.
It's just a C tier for me. There's literally not much to say about it at all. It's just like a normal Battlefield, typical, just fighting around. There's like no obstacles, like all that stuff. Well, it also depends on what settings you have on, but if you have no items on, then it's literally just fighting like all the time, so.
Also going to C just because, yeah, it's an average stage. Nothing much to say about it.
Alright, sorry Jordan, but the average is C here. That was an easy ranking to do, so now we have Final Destination, which, I'll be honest, it's much more basic than Battlefield in the fact that it doesn't have the thin platforms, but honestly, I think for the sake of fighting, it definitely has like more of like intensity. For the sake, it is Final Destination, but also it's a flat stage, which is like perfect for fighting. It's still an average stage, but also, again, the fact that it is a better place to fight, in my opinion, at least for 2 players, not so much 4 players. But that, and also the background is so much more impressive than Battlefield's background ever dreams of being. And that's a compliment I can give to, like, Brawl to Smash Ultimate. Not so sure about Melee or especially Smash 64, but damn, like, the background for the background for Final Destination is just like really really nice. It blows the ruins and water aesthetic of Battlefield out of the water, at least in my opinion. I don't have much else to say on that, or beyond that, I should say.
Okay, so again, I would say it is a kind of a basic stage, although, okay, yeah, I will admit it is a bit more interesting, but if I'm gonna be real, I do kind of think it's a little bit overrated, since, like, yeah, it looks cool, but at the same time, it is still just a reskinned Battlefield with no platforms, which honestly, I'm not really sure how to feel about the platforms. I do kind of prefer them to have the platforms just for a bit of, I don't know, just so there's not just a flat space where you're kind of stuck on. But I mean, the stage does do its job for more intense settings, hence why it's used for most of the boss battles in the game. But yeah, honestly, I'd definitely give it a B tier.
Alright, so this stage to me is definitely a slight improvement over Battlefield, but it's kind of similar. Is that the visuals are definitely a lot better and more interesting to look at, but it's just like the same thing. Like, it's just, you just fight over it. There's really not much action going on. It's just literally the same. But it is slightly a better improvement. I kind of in the base dependent on lower B or high C. I think I'll put it low B, but very close to the C tier. But, you know, my opinions could change on it in the future.
Yeah, pretty much what everyone said. It's also average like Battlefield, but personally, I like it more just because of the lack of platforms. Because I feel like, at least for me, I always get messed up by the platforms. So yeah, I put it in B.
Alright, well, honestly, I guess if you guys like put it that way, then it probably would be the same deal for me. Low B, high C, one of the two. But we'll keep it at B for now, or for this, I guess. But anyway, now we move on to Peach's Castle 64, and I honestly don't know how to feel about this one. I think I would probably give it a B. I don't know if I think for me, I would put it below Final Destination, only because, like, honestly, like, I think the bumpers and the weird triangle slope thingies are, like, kind of annoying. And I feel like I'm mixed about the stage layout, but I guess the one thing that could really be holding it, Peach's Castle 64 back is something that the Melee stage actually does, and that, like, the actual castle itself is just in the background because it's an overhead screenshot of the outside area of Peach's Castle from Mario 64. So that's kind of lame, I guess, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it at B tier under Final Destination, but we'll see what the average ends up being after these guys' thoughts.
Okay, to be honest, I don't really like the stage as much as... Actually, I don't really know anybody else's opinion on it, but personally... Okay, honestly, appearance-wise, it is kind of, I don't know, not that interesting, but... Okay, I can respect them for keeping the N64 style all the way to Ultimate, but... Other than that, I feel like the stage is not really good. I feel like the spaces are kind of too small to try and have decent fights. So I'm like, the only like solid stages are like spots on the stage that's like like around the bottom area, but even like the platform on the sides like move inward. But I especially don't like just the random bumper above. I mean, it does help that it's at least not towards the fight, but it is annoying whenever you do just actually hit because it always just sends you flying in directions that you don't really always expect. Not to mention also those triangle things at the side can't block when you try to launch a player there, and it just kind of just blocks them from getting fully knocked into the blast zone. But I guess I give it C.
Okay, so this stage is, well, how can I really explain it? It's honestly not really meant for four players. It's really only meant for 2 players. But if you play with 2 players, it's actually a pretty good stage. But what drags it down for me is, like I said, it's too small for 4 players. It's not meant to be. It's kind of annoying to like play and but there are some things I like the moving platforms at the bottom, like going left and right, like over and over again. I say it is definitely better than Battlefield. So, oh god, it's like the same thing with the last stage. Do I put it in lower B or upper C? I think I put it just barely below B tier, but like I said, the last stage it could easily change in the future. But I do think the last stage was better than Peach's Castle or whatever it was called.
A couple things before Prism goes, actually, is that I'm like thinking my thoughts back again, and I decided that I'm probably putting this in C tier as well. But the other thing I also just realized, as Michael was saying, how the stage is meant for 2 players, not 4 players. Michael, I don't think you want to imagine Peach's Castle 64 with 8 players.
Oh god, that would be awful.
I think it'd be even funnier if, with all of these stages, 8 players, ice climbers only.
It's a creative stage idea, yes. It's the first one that's not just a platform, but it's realistically too small to actually fight on. With like the bumpers and moving platforms and stuff, you just can't find your footing on it. So yeah, I'd put low C for it.
I think it'll probably average out there. I'll put it low C then. Let's move on to Congo Jungle 64, which I don't know. I feel like Congo Jungle 64 would probably be a B tier for me. I can't put my finger on why, because like I think visually it's more interesting than Battlefield. I'm not so sure about Final Destination. It certainly has that retro vibe, especially considering the textures and especially the barrel are more pixelated, as are the N64 stages anyway. But I don't know. I feel like the best it can be is a B, and I don't have much else to say beyond that, honestly.
Okay, like on one hand, I feel like this stage is pretty, I guess. But on the other hand, I feel like sometimes the slopes can kind of ruin Blast, although not as much as some of the other ones. So it's not too bad, and I feel like the barrel at the bottom doesn't completely ruin the stage since it's not really getting in the way. Although I don't really like the moving platforms that kind of go across the center, but other than that, don't know where I put it. Although on the other hand, it is kind of a simple stage, so I guess I'll give it B. That's all.
This is the first stage I can literally say that it's very solid. It's not the best stage, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I actually like this stage a lot better than the previous one we just talked about. Visuals are good, especially in today's generation stuff. The slopes can be a bit annoying, especially if you're trying to like do like a charge tag or like whatever tag, and sometimes you missed it even though you're like literally next to someone. But that's because of elevation. And there's also a barrel down there that if it goes upside down and you shoot at it, you like instantly die. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just if like beginner players don't know that, I can see how they consider it like a bad stage because of that. But
in other words,
like I said,
in other words, that's a skill issue.
Yeah, but you just gotta make sure that you pull the trigger button at the right time and it's up and not down. Anyway, I give this a solid B. So far the best ones, but of course we have more to go. So.
Alright, I feel like this is just a more fun version of Final Destination. It's still basically just a flat platform, but I like how the bottom isn't solid, like you can recover through it instead of just bounce off. And the cannon is fun because, well, yeah, you can die from it, but I feel like it's more helpful. I'd put it top of B.
I guess I'll for the sake of you and Michael, I'll put it at top of B. Alright, well, let's move on to Hyrule Castle 64, which I'll be honest, even if it's a little bit bigger, I can confidently say, for me at least, that Hyrule Castle's an A tier. I think something about it, like, the visuals, like, I think the textures and stuff on Hyrule Castle are probably the best upgraded visuals of all the Smash 64 stages. The tornado is a little bit annoying, but to me it's kind of like a funny kind of annoying. It just like randomly pops up, it just sweeps you up. It's not like the most annoying obstacle to show up in the stage too. So, and it's, I think no matter how many players you have on a stage, I think every amount of players, maybe aside from like 7 or 8 players, will be worthwhile on Hyrule Castle. So I give it A tier.
Yeah, honestly, I'd say this. Okay, like honestly, I really don't mind bigger stages. Like, okay, like yeah, I can see how they can be annoying, but I definitely just do like bigger stages for all the details you put on all of them. Which, okay, not falls under the D category, but like I like this one because it is decently big enough and it provides a lot of space to fight on, and I feel like overall it definitely is good. But sure, I will admit the tornado can be annoying because if you get high percentages, it can't just kill you. But I feel like at least with the tornado, it's one of the stage houses where it is still pretty easy to get around it as long as you don't purposely accidentally jump into it. But so other than that, I'd say I can also give it an A.
This stage is like very solid, and it's definitely better than the DK stage. It's a lot of fun to play on. It is bigger, which also we finally get a stage that is at least 4 players worth. But I guess the DK stage is also meant for 4 players as well. But this one is definitely a lot better. It's a pretty fun stage to play on. There's a lot of things that you have to like do to get certain stuff. You can find inside a little bit, like the little thing on the right side, and and also there's tornadoes that appear, and if you get a high enough damage, like it just launches and kills you. I give this one an A tier. So that's all I got to say about it. It's a pretty solid stage.
Yeah, this one I think is the best of the 64 stages. It's, like you all said, big enough to fight on. The tornado is more fun than anything. The visuals are good, and I don't know, it's just probably the best stage out of all the 64 ones. So yeah, I agree with A.
Alright, cool. So now we move on to Battlefield but tilted, and also the platforms are higher, also known as Super Happy Tree, also I believe originally known as Yoshi's Story or Yoshi's Island. I don't remember what its original name, but it's Super Happy Tree now, and that's all that matters. I think it gets a slight edge over Battlefield just because it's visually more interesting, but that's a slightly higher, it's a much more higher point than the fact that the stage layout is a little bit more annoying. And I think I'm a little bit mixed on the clouds that show up on the over the pits, I guess. And I think the stage itself is a little bit on the bigger side than Battlefield normally is, which to me feels a little bit off. But the visuals are hard carrying it, or actually, no, scratch that. The visuals they barely carry the stage enough for me. I personally would give it C tier, but above Battlefield.
I don't really know what to feel. Like, I'm not really big on the whole island theme. I mean, I only played one Yoshi's Island game. That was Woolly World, which, I feel like it is cute and all, but I feel like not really. I don't really like how the platforms kind of pile up on each other like that. Especially, again, I'm not really big on the whole slanted stages. Since again, I feel like they can't get messed up during some gameplay. But I do like the clouds this side. I feel like they do provide a nice like getaway point for a bit, and I feel like they're especially not like they're not like too dangerous since they always take time before they just. They're not too overpowered since they can disappear over time. So. Okay, so what are places I don't really know. I guess maybe. I guess in C tier. I have not really strong opinions on it, but I'd say it's decent stage but I wouldn't pick it all the time. That's all.
Okay, so this stage is okay, on one hand it's actually like pretty visuals are good and like all this stuff and it's like decent to fight on, but on the other hand it's kind of a mediocre stage, like it's just okay. I mean the clouds can be good and like useful in some ways, but if you play a character that has a horrible recovery, the clouds is like the last thing you want to be on, especially if they disappear while you're on it. So it's a pretty frustrating stage, but I wouldn't say it's terrible, but it's really not that great either. I put it in B tier, above definitely better than Battlefield. If my thing can please stop lagging, please. Okay, there we go.
Alright, I honestly hate this stage. It looks like trash, even in Ultimate. It's way too small. Only like 2 people can fit on the middle at the same time. And the clouds are cool, but they're not really useful in any way, so honestly I put this one in D.
Alright, bottom of C, average it is. Alright. Now we move on to an actual clone of Battlefield, but this time there's wind that comes from Wispy Woods. It's Dreamland 64. And honestly, the wind is not... It is a bit annoying, but it's not as much of a hindrance, like, to me anyway. I would personally put it above Battlefield just because of the... I like the Kirby aesthetic more than the Battlefield aesthetic, to be honest. And the wind is, again, not as much of a hindrance as well, I don't know, some people find the wind annoying. I kind of don't really care to, like, notice the wind sometimes, I guess. Not much else I have to say on that.
Yeah, on one hand, I feel like it is a decent stage to fight on. I mean, personally, I think it would be if it weren't for the wind. Like, okay, sure, the wind isn't as strong in this, thankfully, but it can still be kind of annoying whenever it does happen. And I don't know, I feel like not really much to say about it, since again, kind of a basic stage. Although, I guess I couldn't think of anything better to represent the Kirby franchise than N64. So honestly, I'd probably give it like bottom of C. That's all.
Alright, well this stage is definitely interesting, but it's kind of similar to the Yoshi stage, but I think it's slightly better. Even though the wind can be kind of annoying, it's like I have deal with a lot of worse wind in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and those are like annoying to control and stuff. But other than that, like, I mean, it is a decent stage to fight on, but not really much interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure what to say about the stage. The only thing I can say is that the music is like so meme as hell for some reason.
That's one too oatmeal for you folks.
I put it above. I say it's better than the Yoshi stage, so I put it in C tier.
This one's just Battlefield, but more fun. I'd put it just C, but right above Battlefield.
I'll put it above Peach's Castle on C4 then to average it out, because I personally would also put it above Battlefield. But yeah, we'll just leave it in the middle there for now. So our second to last stage to rank here for today is Saffron City, which I feel like it's a little bit more annoying to play. Like, I think it's an alright stage. I personally would put it in the bottom of B tier. Like, it's not the worst thing to play on, obviously. The 5 Pokemon, I think it's 5 Pokemon, that can show up out of the door, can make things a little bit interesting, especially if Electrode comes out. But Yeah, it kind of has that retro vibe. It is a city stage, which is kind of neat to have early on in Smash's history, but I don't have much more to say about it, especially because I'm not big on Pokemon, which I will admit that, well, actually, nah, I'm not going to talk about the music, because I was about to say that I do like the key, or like the musical key that they have for the beginning part of the Pokemon Gen 1 theme for this stage, as well as Pokemon Stadium, but I think I would talk about more about that when we get to Pokemon Stadium in the next part. So, yeah, bottom of B, that's all I have to say about it. Jordan, take it away.
Okay, maybe I might have a little bit of Pokemon bias, but generally I do like this stage. One of the few I do. Well, okay, actually, never mind that one. But okay, on one hand, I do find it kind of. I can't see how the tall buildings can't make things annoying, especially like that one in between, like the I think like the one that's like close to the helipad and the that one where the Pokemon come out the door. Like I feel like that spot especially can be annoying to fall down under since it's still grab onto, but I feel like unlike some gimmicks, I feel like this one was actually a pretty more interesting. It's not like the other ones where they just repeat themselves. I feel like with this one, like having a variety of Pokemon come out the door definitely does change things up that I feel like it. So honestly, and for size wise, I feel like I guess it can be a bit small, but then again, I feel like they put enough to make it playable. So I'd say I put it in A. That's my ranking. That's all.
Okay.
I am honestly not much of a fan of the stage. Maybe I just suck at this stage, but I just find it like super annoying. The stage ice is decent, but I just do not like stage ice. Maybe because it's that the some of the Pokemon stuff like that pops in the middle can get annoying, and that's where I usually hang out when I do it a lot. And sometimes I always forget that happens, and I just lose a stock like very quickly when that happens. And another thing I don't like is the gap in the left side, like between the cities. I get it; it's there to like challenge you and all that stuff, but it's extremely annoying to like deal with. Like, if especially you don't see it there and you like somehow fall down by complete accident and you have no control over that. Well, I mean, of course you can still recover it from that, but still, it's like very annoying to deal with. So yeah, I know this may be controversial, but I honestly do not like the stage. I'm gonna put it in D tier. I'm sorry guys, but I'm just not a fan of the stage.
Alright, well, let's see if Prism can give this stage a recovery boost.
Honestly, yeah, this might be my favorite 64 stage. It's big, but it's not like one single platform. It's multiple platforms spread out, so it's not like some of the problems other larger stages have, where you have to reach like 200% to KO someone. The Pokemon are fun. I like how they do different things, and I feel like this is one of the few 64 stages that actually look good. So honestly, I'm gonna put it in A.
Since I understand that both of you would probably, like, actually, knowing you probably would have it below Hyrule Castle, but either way...
I would, yeah. I'd put it below Hyrule Castle.
Yeah. Either way, like, it would probably still, like, have that spot anyway, just because my B ranking cancels out Michael's D ranking, so A tier it is for this stage.
Also, if it's okay if I could make one more note regarding to one of the things you said about it being like a city stage in one of Smash Bros. History. Like, honestly, it doesn't surprise me that they chose Pokemon to have the city stage because, well, mainly because if you really have like delved into Pokemon, you know that the entire franchise has a lot of friggin' cities.
Yeah, that part I do understand. Yeah. I think just like for Smash Bros. Sake, it's a little bit interesting because.
Although, I guess I would have probably said I probably would have picked something like Vermilion City or something to represent it, since I feel like that one might be a bit more iconic from Gen 1, but I'd say Saffron City works just fine. But yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Alright. And then last but probably a little bit least for this video, which is kind of not intentionally saying that to hark on Prism earlier, but honestly, Mushroom Kingdom is kind of just to me. Although I think in terms of just like playing on it, I kind of have a little bit more enjoyment out of playing it than any of the floating platform stages that we have in C tier. I especially love the aesthetic, like fully nailing down the Super Mario Bros. Like look, I guess. At the very least, I could give that compliment for Smash Ultimate's version of the stage, because the original version of the stage looked ugly as crap. It was like, I don't know how to describe the original, like the original version of the stage's visuals. Like, it was so like weird, and I'm so glad that they updated it to be more correct for the Ultimate version. It is kind of stupid that you can just walk off and just lose a stock or a point or whatever, like, almost immediately, but in this stage's defense, there are plenty of other stages across this series that also do that. But I think, personally, this stage has a little bit of an edge in that specific aspect, just because of a specific Easter egg that the stage has, where if you turn the camera to the left or right towards the blast zones, there will be a wall with a cross symbol, I think it's called, with the circle with the red slash in it or whatever. I think that's a cross symbol. Something like that.
The stop symbol?
No, it's not. Well, I think it probably is like a stop symbol. It's not the stop sign.
Circle with the dash through it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, either way, like, that specific symbol, just seeing it on both sides of the blast zones with the camera out of bounds or whatever, I think it's just kind of funny to me. But it's not really much to, like, really save the stage, because it's just funny to play on, but it is still annoying. And I especially understand that for some people, the trolley-ass pipes would probably hinder the stage a lot, but personally, much like Prism, I don't really mind the pipes at all. So, I don't know what the consensus is across the board is for this stage, for these guys, but I would personally rank it at the top of C, but if it does get moved around, then it is what it is.
Honestly, I don't. This is one of those stages where I feel like cool idea in concept, but terrible execution. Like the solid platforms you can't fight on, like they're on the edges, where like pretty close to the blast zone. Like, secondly, the freaking like weight thing in the middle, it can be like, although realistic, it can be annoying because it can just fall off. Like, I think especially an example of being like, if you get like stunned or fall asleep on it, you're practically just dead unless you could really match that fast. Like, I feel like one of the only thing I do like this stage for is having the warp pipe to be able to go through, but like, other than that, I feel like everything else with the stage isn't very well executed. So, I mean, and I do find it kind of funny how one of the pipes can't just throw you with one. Like, you better hope to frick that either you have a character with a good recovery, or that you get time things quick enough. Because otherwise, you kind of screwed yourself over with that. So, honestly, I give this a D tier. That's all.
Okay, this stage is kind of an interesting one for me, because I like the stage in some ways, but at the same time, I kind of don't. It's kind of like one of those situations where I don't like it, for one thing, but I also think it's good, kind of like it's bad, but it's good. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, trolling pipe is very annoying, but I really don't think it's really that big of a deal, unless you you have a poor recovery jump up at the corridor. But you also have platforms right there, and yes, you have to be on a certain level for it to work, and maybe you can get away with it, but it's, I don't know, I still don't find the Troy pipe really that big of a deal. And I do like the background of it a lot. I'd say it's decent. I I'd probably put it high C tier. Probably the best high C tier on my list. Yeah, that's just all. But it's kind of close to B tier, but I'd probably put it C tier to be more fair.
I feel like this stage, unlike the others, is more meant to be fun than like a serious battle. Because, yeah, the trolley pipes are fun. I like how the blast zones are close. It's also the only stage that's not just like an island in the sky.
At least for this game.
Yeah. That's what I meant, yeah. But I feel like this stage is more meant for fun, casual matches instead of serious battles. So I'll put it like middle of C.
I think. I think with that in mind, I'll keep it in the middle of C because I know Michael and I both have it at the top of C, probably. I guess, and then Jordan has it in D. So I'll just leave it in the middle of C. And honestly, I'm glad for that because it's not the worst note to end this first part on, if I'll be honest.
Nope.
Yeah, I suppose that works.
I'd say those are pretty solid opinions in this overall for the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I would be. I guess I probably would be remiss if I didn't like at least mention Planet Zebus and Sector Z, the only two Smash 4 stages, or well, 2 of 3 Smash 4 stages that aren't in Smash Ultimate. But to be honest, the stages that we do have in Smash now, that basically replace both of those stages. I probably would rather have, especially in the case of Sector Z. You're also we'll go over that stuff when we get to the melee stages. It is kind of unfortunate that we haven't gotten the Metal Cavern stage or whatever. The only other single player stage, in Smash 64 that you can fight on. It's the place where you fight Metal Mario in Smash 64's classic mode. But this is where we're at in terms of the tier list. Not a bad ranking overall, I'd say.
No, it also shows that like I said before, like the N64 games have pretty good versus time, but as time went on, there's more stages that would probably be better than most of the 64 stages.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see how Melee does. I haven't played much of Melee, so we'll see.
Which, I mean, that's not going to matter much for the ranking because it's going to be solely focused on the stages.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. But I think that's going to do it for this first part of the Smash Ultimate stage tier list ranking. So yeah, that's all I have to say. The next part, these tier list videos for Smash Ultimate here, stages, whatever. This one was uploaded on a Wednesday, and the upcoming ones are going to be uploaded on Wednesdays as well, but it's going to be every 2 weeks, just like my Saturday videos. So expect the Melee stages to be out in 2 weeks from now. But the Saturday schedule is still going to be the same as before, so not this Saturday, but the next Saturday will be regular video. So yeah, that's about what to expect for the schedule from here on out. So with all that being said, thank you guys a lot for watching, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!
Bye.
Goodbye. Well, have a great day.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks again for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, then consider leaving a like on the video and also subscribing to my channel. You should also check out the stuff my friends make. Sorry, hang on. As I was saying, you should also check out the stuff my friends make. Those being JordanDraws, Michael Game Show, Prism, and YourLocalLogo. I think you'll enjoy the stuff they make, and you might find me in some of that stuff as well. Their links to their channels or socials are in the description. And I think that's all I got, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers!